We have my lovely ladies who I believe are also friends now, and I'm really, really happy to have these ladies with me because they're doing so amazing that each one of them actually inspires me. And that's why I've actually called them here today. Like they really do inspire me. If you don't inspire me, I don't know, but certainly they really do inspire me a lot. And I'm going to introduce Lisette.
Hi.
Right, and listen, what you're gonna do is, right, just for everyone to know, I know who you are. I need you to tell me about yourself. Give me just a little brief of introduction of who you are, what you do, and yes.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ayoola, for organizing such a great platform. I mean, voicing ourselves, talking about what we do, it's inspiring. So I think I commend you for being bold and taking on this initiative. Well, hi guys, I am Lisette Mibo. I'm a fashion blogger, a model turned fashion blogger. I modeled for 6 years between 2011 and 2016, and then in the early 2018 I embarked on the fashion blogging. And I'm also the founder of a non-profit called the PFN Foundation, where we work in the Congo to help street children, and we are working on a project to build our first shelter center.
So for people who doesn't know what PFN, what's the full definition?
The full definition means passion for motherland. So I am very passionate about motherland Africa, and then when you bring it down to small motherland in terms of Congo as well. So we start in Congo, we start small and then we expand. So yeah.
Okay.
I can't top that intro. So I'm Lucy Power. I am the head of customer marketing at IT Group. We run several large exhibitions across the world. I predominantly look after the 5 fashion shows we run here, as well as 2 retail ones and a technology one and a gardening one. Very random. But my fashion ones have always been really close to my heart. So I come from a PR and marketing background. I worked in beauty and fashion PR for years. I don't even want to say how long I've been out of uni at this point, so we'll just say years. And I focus on customer marketing, so lead generation driving, branding, creative. To be honest, it's a whole host, it's a mix, and it is rather a hybrid role since I've been here because it is event management with marketing. It's incredibly challenging, incredibly satisfying, and I mean, more than that, I guess it's a great industry to work in at the moment. Even though the industry is struggling, it's a very interesting time in terms of ethical matters, sustainability. Fashion is taking great leaps into the future, so it's very exciting. And thank you so much for having me as well.
That's amazing. So now I believe I've got the right individuals to talk about branding too, right? So and also one of the reason why we're sort of focusing on fashion aspect of branding, because it's one of the most obvious content where you see branding. There is branding in every sort of businesses, but for some reason with fashion, it's just so obvious. It's a thing, you call it branding. So that leads me to you guys, and just a bigger welcome to I Am My Brand, right? And I believe we have the right people.
I am not wearing my brand today. So I'm wearing yellow.
Terrible.
Oh, I got pink.
I'm not even
I got yellow.
I'm not even There you go. Oh, I'm not going to say the word.
So I'm gonna go straight right into the question. Aside from, one thing I love about Rayu is that Rayu like to know about the background, not what you put out there. I think it's so nice and easy for everyone to talk about what they do. I think it's so easy for us to hide behind our work, the consistency, 9 to 5. This is the hours that I commit to my customers. We're trying to make other people happy. But the most important thing is that although this is what you do, although you target the brand, the audience want to know your mindset.
Yeah.
Right. So I think a mindset really tailors you, making that decision about what you have in your life. So that would lead to my next question, basically, right? And my first question I'm going to ask you guys is, what does success means to you? By the way, wait.
I was gonna dive in there.
Because the thing about the thing with the word success, right? People debate, people think about it, they overthink about it, right? Success can be anything to anybody, right? It could be me literally just achieving my task today, or me actually getting to talk to you two today. That's my success, and I've done it. It could be something else tomorrow, but it could be a day to day. So, what does success means to you? Let me start with Lucy. Let me start with Lucy in this part. Sorry.
What does success mean to me? So this is a hard one. I think I probably had a clearer picture when I was younger, actually, of what success looked like for me. So I studied really hard. I was very, very eager to get through college, go to university. Having grown up in Spain for most of my childhood, it made that quite difficult.
I didn't know that.
I know, I did. Grew up in Spain for 7 years.
Oh, wow.
So I speak 3 languages, which is incredible, which was a feat in itself. But growing up at that kind of teenage years, your grammar is quite difficult. So when I came back to England to study at university, it was quite an issue. I kept flipping my words the wrong way around, because in Spanish we say house big and not
French
big house. Well. So little things like that were quite hard, but I knew that I wanted to work in fashion. I always did. Now, that has changed actually as well, because the more I get used to other industries, the more interesting they become to me, and that's the difference. But success back then really looked like a big white office, probably at a magazine house or publishing house like Hearst or Condé Nast, with beautiful flowers everywhere and these models walking around, and just this really idyllic idea of what success was. And mainly from, as sad as that sounds, from watching all the movies, from the TV shows, from seeing that. Turns out fashion is exactly like that. But I am not exactly that person for it, I think. So success for me changed from being a very materialistic thing to just really being really happy in what I'm doing. I love achieving something. I love being given a project and, a challenge that needs solving, and coming up with that solution and watching the process play out. That for me is constant success, as well as, I guess, just... I don't know. I mean, I think I've had so many different levels with it. It's really hard when you look at this question.
I know, it's very broad.
It's so broad.
It is a broad.
I'm really glad I feel successful because I went travelling for 6 months. I feel successful that I've saved for my own house deposit on my own. I feel really different levels of success outside of work, which is, I think, something that I'm really happy for as I matured. Because at first it was, you're very career hungry and kind of career crazy. You think that you have to climb that ladder really quickly, but actually it's so much more about finding out where you fit in and where you're going to go from there. So
no, that's good.
So no concrete answer. super broad in general, but
so for me, because I have different facets of me, so I'll just take like 3. I have the mother, I'm a mom, and my blogging or my fashion side hustle, they call it, and my own career prospect. So in those 3 facets, I have like goals, and we talk about vision board. So I'll have like a vision, I'll create a vision board, 1 year goals, 2, 3, 5 years. And then, like say for instance, as a mother, okay, I have my 2 girls. Okay, I know like in 2 months, in 6 months, in 1 year, this is what I want them to improve in terms of even just academically, let's say my daughter's struggling with something, like I say, I'm gonna work hard with her in 6 months, she's gonna have to be here. So, and then I'll tick them boxes. So if she does do well, we do a test and she ticks it off, for me, that's a success. When it comes to university, I'm currently doing my master's in project management. So even that, we have goals, so I know like, okay, I have this amount of work that I need to do in order for me to move forward. I put that down. And then once I complete it, I tick them off. For me, I feel success. So if I don't tick it off, I feel like a failure. I feel terrible. Same thing with personal goals, like my fashion work and my other business, my organization. I'll set goals, I'll sit down with my trustees, we'll set goals, this is what we need to achieve by this time. It doesn't always go according to plan, but it gives you time to review. So for me, I put a vision board and I tick things off, and if I don't tick it off, like, okay, what do I need to do better?
Yeah. Wow. Be so hard on yourself.
No.
I know. God, look how much you've been literally listening to you say all that. You could die now. Like that, someone would be like, yep, that's me. That's it. That's incredibly, that's a huge achievement in itself. Wow. I stopped ticking the boxes. I had to stop.
Yeah,
It got too much.
because-
It got too
I
much.
don't know. I still do the all taking off boxes.
Yeah, I've been to her house
like-
before. She has like
Yeah,
she has
yeah,
stickers everywhere.
Post-its.
Yeah,
My
I'm
friends
from-
don't
On
let me
her
go
fridge.
No, I'm
everywhere.
less typical.
Yeah, everywhere.
I've got, I'm like that. I'm
It's-
like, is it being Mary J? What's that?
Being married.
Yeah, you know
But
how
just
you know how every music like sticking. That's my
It's
life.
life. I know. See?
Yeah, but for me, I mean, success is my bucket list. I'll be very honest about that. My bucket list is different things. You know, one of them being educated. I don't care where he's getting a degree, but it has to be something I'm passionate about. Also, networking, making sure you engage with the right people in life. You know, see the future me, and and how do I correlate my future me? The thing is, I'm a big dreamer. I dream my dream is so fat. Oh my god.
You got to put your dream on diet.
I'm a big dreamer.
Course.
And it's so, and
The whole point of having a vision is
I
having
find
a
it so
big, scary
fascinating.
vision.
I find it
And
so
then turning it
fascinating that, you know, my dream is so big that sometimes and if I have to reflect on my life at the moment, I don't know how it happens, but things are actually they align with the future me. That's what I would say. It's not easy, don't get it twisted.
Of course
But
not.
if I have to speak
be
out
worth it
and
for
if I have to reflect on journeys and I can certainly say that for some reason, I think I'm aligned, gradually becoming who I'm aiming to become. But
course.
what the success means to me, success for me is just like taking my achievement list or being what I want to be. So I'm going to take this back to the next question is, what is your background and how did that motivate your journey, like your current journey, like where you are currently, you know? So if we just sort of briefly just talk about that, like what's your background and how does that, and you know, how does that motivate where you are right now? So your family, or you don't need to get in depth if you don't want to. It's just more like what's your support system? How, or even if you didn't have it, how have you mentally
Coping mechanism
And
and-
yeah, that's the word. Yeah.
It's not-
Listen, no. I mean,
It's like Piggy in the middle right now. Okay.
you know what? I'll
No,
go.
no,
I can start
Lead
this
by
time.
example,
I can start this time. So, for me, my personal background is very different from the majority. I was born in Nigeria, right? And at the time you would say unfortunately, right? But for me, it's fortunate looking at my journey in life now. And I sort of ended up in foster care at a very young age in life. And would I say, was it difficult? Yes, it was. Being a young child in a new country without my family, without anyone that I know. But the thing is, I knew at that age, at that time, that I want to be someone bigger in life. I knew that from a young age. I knew I had a purpose, right? So I remember at that early stage where I was mentally challenged, I was telling myself, listen, this is your current situation, right? And make sure you get what you want, get your education, with or without your family, and just man up, basically. I'll use that word. Man up was the word I would use for myself. I was year 7, year 8 or so. That's my background, and how has that sort of motivated me to be where I am today? I think the struggle challenged me. The struggle is what has made me start at Rare You. The hardship of having to work so hard to become someone in life sort of made me realize that there's so many people possibly going through the same issues, the same difficulties in this life, that, you know, they cannot see through it. We all look right here. So for me, my struggle has motivated me to become what I want today.
Of course,
So and that's the impact that I want to let people know, like, keep your head high and keep walking through what's the difficult time, and, you know, and this is the platform here. So
I knew she picked me from the beginning.
Well, I went first the first time, so.
Okay, I'm just gonna touch on what you said. You know, similar stories. Like, I'm coming from Congo. I came here age 14. I'm from the Congo, is in Central Africa, and the majority of families in Congo are poor, and I came from that family. So as a young girl, 14 years old, experienced extreme poverty, sometimes even lacking. My grandma not having enough money to send me to school, not enough money to buy me new school uniform, but I was eager to study. So when I came to the UK and have all these opportunities that are here, that we have, for me, it was just like, wow, everything I always wanted. And that keeps me grounded. Even when I start to get distracted, I'm taking for granted what many young women my age right now would want to kill to have in this country. The education, the job opportunities, to be able to network, even to have a platform, social media, have resources, have access to phone, internet, great, sustainable, good, affordable fashion clothes you can buy from high street, which many women are in that age right now. They don't have that, or they may have dreams to become lawyers, to become bloggers, to become anything, but they can't have it. They just end up with kids, having babies. So that's my foundation. That grants me. That always keep me going. Like, I need to do more, because there's a reason why God chosen me to be here, not them. So I have to do something.
That's beautiful.
That's very inspiring, I must say.
That is. Oh. So my personal background is a little bit crazy. I've moved house 27 times in my life. Maybe more. I keep getting it miscounted, so I might be 30 at this point. A lot. Yeah, to put it in a real frame. A little bit. Yeah. We moved a lot. I moved countries with my family as well. We were 12. I have 3 little sisters. I'm the eldest of 4 girls. I have 4 amazing parents, and moving so much means that you have a really unstable lifestyle. And that comes with a lot of challenges. Yeah, most definitely. But it also made me really able to just make friends with everyone from all different walks of life.
Confidence.
I have friends that range from 15 years older than me to 20 years my junior, because I've met them through something and they were good to me. And for me, my background, or what my parents taught me, is just really being kind to everyone. Everyone you meet on the way up are the same people you're going to meet on the way down. Exactly. And that is, for me, treating people the same thing you get taught when you're at school, and your teacher says you treat someone the way you would want to be treated. That stands. And I feel like as you get older, it's quite rare, actually. You do meet a lot of people who are the opposite, who really forgot that. Who really forgot that basic manners of just be nice to everyone, because wouldn't you want to be treated like that? So my background, although absolutely chaotic, that's why I guess I'm really quite proud of what I managed to achieve, because it was really topsy-turvy, upside down, being pulled this way, that way, being, once you get used to a country, being ripped out of it, being told you're moving here, and downsizing houses, going from quite wealthy to really, really poor to, so it did change a lot, but I think it gave me such, not only a thick skin, but just layered skin.
That's it.
That's it. Empathetic.
Be able to adapt.
Yes, to adapt and to relate to lots of people, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful.
I'm gonna say something. I'm very privileged that I think I have seen both of your characters on a daily basis. I know a bit of your background and not so much of your background, and it's. There is attractions with people, and one thing about Lucy is that you are so bubbly, and I think someone said to me, I remember when you was like, let's do it next week, and I'm like, huh? Because next week.
I love that, spontaneous.
And I looked at Ali, and I said, she said next week, and that's Monday. He's like, yeah.
And she texts me. She's like, Monday. I'm like,
oh, she was
Monday?
like, yeah, that's fine.
I was serious. I was like, look, I've got this day. I don't want to let you down. I couldn't do it. I'm on holiday for 3 weeks after this. Let's do it. Let's go.
And I messaged her, and I'm like, Monday. She said, yes. I'm like, this girl's like absolutely crazy. But my point in identifying that from both of you is that you're very spontaneous, you're very bubbly, your character, you're able to engage with different people from every class, and I mean, you're so welcoming. Like, there is no one that comes to you that does not feel like, oh, I should not speak to that person, or maybe they're not at that level, and that's something that you portray on a regular basis. You're up there, you're down here, everyone is welcome. Let's just make a good point, make a valid point, and that goes for you yourself also. You're doing so much. I went to your gala event last year for PM Health. I'm going to send you a video. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
I'll put a video link to everything that Lisette does right at the bottom. And you know, there's no time on our side, so I'm going to just move next to the next question. The next question is: do you ever doubt yourself, or have you ever doubted your journey?
All the time.
Have you doubted your journey?
Do you know what? Maybe not my journey, because it changed so much. Do you know what, age as well? And that is something that is so true. When I was turning 30, which was recently, by the way, I had an absolute meltdown. I loved my 20s. I felt like I was literally letting go of a life that I'd had. Like, I don't want to go yet. I'm not ready. I'm not ready to do this. But when I turned 30, stuff just kind of fell into place. And every woman I spoke to who was in their 30s said that. They were like, the things that you cared about, it's not like letting go. They just fade. They're just easier to just be like, do you know what? I might not get to do that, but I got to do this instead. Or I don't ever, but doubting myself a little bit on a daily. Who doesn't? Sometimes just in an email, and you'll be like, oh, could have rephrased that differently. Will this change the span of your life? No. So just use, taking everything you say as well with a pinch of salt. Everyone reacts in a heated moment, being forgiving and knowing that people have bad days. Everyone is human. And you know what? What they're angry about probably isn't you. It's their own stuff. And just knowing that that's them, it is literally projecting their emotions. So in terms of doubting, yes, but being reassured, and I think having such a strong support system, I'm so lucky. I have an amazing partner and also just so much family, so many sisters, more sisters than I can actually handle at this point, and nephews now and nieces and my parents. I'm very lucky. Some kids don't have one parent. I got 4 in the end. So for me, it's the journey's just starting.
That's good. No, I agree. I could add to that. I always like this quote where they say, feel the fear, but do it anyway.
Yeah.
Every successful person out there doesn't mean they're not scared, but they just get on with it. Even just me today coming here, it was a struggle. I nearly just contacted Ayoola and babe, I just can't do it today. But I said, no, I'm going to let her down. I'm going to go. I'm going to take a shower, dress up with my makeup, and here I am. So doubt is always there, but you don't dwell on it. You don't dwell on it. You have to get out. You have to find activities. You have to do something. Do what you love. Just don't dwell on it. But it doesn't mean. But we need it as well to guide us, because I think when you're too short, too confident, you make mistakes. It's like in an exam. Those students are too confident, too just end up taking the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But if you're conscious, you're nervous, you'll be very careful, double checking the question, double checking answers. So I think a little degree of fear, of doubt is necessary, but not too much.
I think it's being mindful. It's like we were saying, it's real mindfulness.
That's a perfect thing to say, be mindful. And I love that quote that you say, feel the fear and do it anyway. That was one of my thing. And to be honest, for me, I think I always doubt myself every single day of my life. Again, people will see people like us, so people will look at you and be like, oh my gosh, you're doing
on
so
social
well.
media and everything.
They
I could
say
just
you're
be there
doing
crying and posting a happy face
Yeah.
picture, like me.
This is why I don't post on social. I'm the worst marketer. I do not do social.
and certainly
Or saying lol,
Yeah.
When you
When
just
you're
do
not
straight his
laughing.
face, but
When
you're not
you're
laughing.
not
We do that all the time.
And it's just very important that people understand this. Doubting is part of the aspect, and I think you just have to again put your head up and believe in what you're doing. And so I really love the fact that you mentioned that age thing of before you get to 30. I'm almost there, and for me, I was gonna get to a stage where I did at some point. I think I'm always trying to be an adult from when I was a child anyway. Like, I've been very responsible for myself from a young age, so I even felt like I didn't even feel like I had a childhood. But then I told myself the last thing you want from yourself, young lady, when you're actually getting towards that age is put in the, because I've my journey of growth, like I said, I've had it quite difficult, but I've been very privileged to have met people who sort of actually sat me down and said, Ayoola, you need to take it easy. Like, it's not that
It's not that deep.
It's not that deep. I get you. I understand your passion, and I understand. But you really, how old are you again? Like there's some people that don't even know what they're doing, and like, as a matter of fact, you're doing so fabulous. Like you're doing so good for yourself. So one thing I told myself is moving forward, it's financial issues. Just make sure you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, one day at a time.
Relax.
One
and
bill at a time.
Take it as, you know, just relax. And yes, the whole hate stuff thing, right? Did I get it? Oh, I was going to pressurize myself a little bit about the hate stuff, but again, I told myself, young lady, chill, and you're right. And it seems to sort of, I think it's what you believe that would happen.
And just be kind to yourself. Like we spend so much time. I think it's actually no, I'm not going to generalize that, but as human beings, just constantly beating ourselves up about what more we could have done and something else, and no one takes a second to be like, do you know what's that kid doing who I went to school with 10 years ago? Oh, they're in the same place, in the same house, doing them. But do you know what? They're doing them. You don't know if they're happy or not doing that, but if you look at what you did, did you do what you wanted to do?
Are you content?
Yeah.
Like some people, they're content just doing whatever they're doing. That's it.
And that's a beautiful thing as well.
That goes back to, again, what success goes for you, and that could be anything that you want to do. So girls, right, just because of time also, I'm gonna go straight to the purpose of today, right? And I just felt like it's so important that people understand who you are, understand your character also before we start getting into the initiative of branding. Just because we need people to be able to relate to you from any angle, to say like, you know what, these are not just professional people that have been dealing with branding all their life, and and there is some sort of similarities with every single one of us here, which is the aim of wanting more for ourselves, being mindful, being kind to other people. So, my first question. Why am I like this? So my first question is, right, it's quite simple. What is branding?
What is branding?
What is branding? I think let me start with Lucy actually. The reason why I'm going to start with Lucy, like as Lucy said, she works for an exhibition company, and she works in marketing, and I've managed to see Lucy when she's working and when she's putting pictures together, when she's putting coordinating stuff. I mean, and I've managed to also have a one-to-one with Lucy about my brands, my businesses, and just to hear an insight of her. So Lucy, briefly, in just a little small world, and what is branding to you?
To me, branding
in general, in business,
even without branding? All the jargon, marketing jargon, branding is recognizing. That's it. A brand is to be recognized, and recognition can only. I'm not going to steal your word. Recognition can really only come from doing something the same way. Actually, trying to describe it now. Doing something the same way over a period of time. So that's the only way. So brands that don't tend to survive are the ones that didn't get it quite right the first time. Now look, anyone who goes into a new brand, you're going to come with loads of ideas off the top of your head. You're going to get really excited. You're probably going to implement them, and then you're going to take a step back and you're going to think, oh, should I go with that? Is that the message? Is that the slogan? Is that, you look at a brand that you would recognize anywhere in the world, you see a tick, you think of Nike.
That's it.
Right? You hear every little helps, I think of Tesco. Straight off. Even if I'm hearing it completely out of context, but someone says it, I go, oh, every little helps. It literally springs to mind. The same with fashion brands. It's very, very, because it's like the colours they use, their language, their messaging has to be just throughout. So branding for me is that kind of recognizing something without no words, no messaging, no nothing. Now that takes a long time. Branding is not something that happens overnight. You want a brand, that takes a while, and it's only once you're really established can you do kind of a relaunch or a rebrand if it's not working. Now of course if the brand isn't working, mix it up, but then you feel like you're kind of starting from scratch. Doing that all over again, entering the market again, showing the audience you've been showing something completely new, that they're suddenly like, whoa, I'm so used to you being like this. What do you mean you're doing this now? Silly changes when you go into any shop and they've changed the colours of their branding or their logo. You don't recognise it. Your mind doesn't have that memory of what it is. so it can really mess people up there. So it's really, I think, patience for a new brand, patience, because once you have your branding, everything else is like up for fun. You can just play with it. It's fun. You can have a season where you do your logo in a different color because you're representing something. You look at Gay Pride.
Yeah.
Everyone, it'll still be their logo, but you can brand it in something new for that occasion.
Trends,
and that's the beautiful thing, because people will still recognize it straight off. But that is key. The branding is being the center out.
That's very interesting for me to know. I've just literally picked up quite a lot from that. Yeah. That's it.
Use the word.
I feel like I'm missing something here. But I'm going to listen up first.
So, I'm just going to touch very briefly on what you just spoken about. As we spoke earlier, branding is consistency.
It is consistency. I didn't want to steal the word because it's true.
Consistency.
Yes.
So you gotta be consistent from the colors, from the font, from the message, the slogan. Everything has to be consistent. So as you mentioned, just simply about colors. If you see a certain color, if you see a logo, you just know that. And the way they do it as well is it's just Nike. It's Nike, okay? Nike and the tick, and then it'll just be like a tick, and then you see Nike. Something like McDonald's, for instance. You see, I'm loving it. Yeah, and it was just the M. You see the M, you see, so that gave you an idea, even for my foundation.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, how can you reflect into your personal life?
So like PFM Foundation, we started with Passion for Motherland, and we've always been consistent with color yellow, because there's something about yellow that just it makes me come alive and happy, positive, hope.
And one of my favorite colors.
So it's always been, first of all, coming from me, because that's what I want, the life that I wanted from a young age, with everything I've been through. I was like, I'm always chasing light. So hence why yellow for me, and I incorporate that in everything I do, even a bit of in my foundation. You see it in my blogging, even my personal clothing. Today I know I'm not wearing yellow, but
I know. See, anything, placement.
Yeah, so back to Passion for Motherland. So we started Passion for Motherland, and then we went to PFM Foundation. That's the name. And then we have in the logo we have a map of Africa and that. And I took that map, just left a single. So we have two: the full name and the map. So when people see the map, then they can see us. So obviously we're still young, and then we're growing. As we're growing, great people. Then you'll start registering in their head. So consistency from color, from font, from slogan, so people just have to. And also, especially for personal branding, you're coming from a company more wide. So personal branding, like we look at celebrities, we look at bloggers, singers, artists, creators. So you yourself, you are your brand.
Consistent, 100%.
Everywhere you go, you are your brand. What you write, what you say, what you wear. Just based like Beyonce, for instance. How she changed her hairstyles. She changes the styles, but she changes the colors.
Yeah, the color.
Beyonce's hair color has been consistent since the Destiny's Child.
Oh my God, I think
she started.
Since Destiny's Child.
Yeah.
She'll change, she'll be braid, she'll do straight, she'll do this, she'll do that. But this color is consistent. And that's for me. That's already, because when you think about long hair, brown and goldish, I see Beyonce.
Wow. So so I've learned a few things from you guys. So for me, I've got 3 brands. I think I do. I know I do have 3 brands.
They're not consistent yet, but they're brands.
I think I do. And one thing I've picked from both of you is the consistency, right? Which I believe there's some people out there watching, and from my personal experience, right? So I have 3 brands, which is my personal brand, a hair beauty physical appearance business, which is a brand of its own. They're all babies, and then I've got this brand here, this platform here that sort of supports as a give back network. Now, one thing I really was able to pick from what you said is that time of changes and actually the time. So I cheated a little bit. I was able to read a book about branding just before today also, and I was able to understand the key element, which that you guys haven't read any of this book, but you said quite powerful things that the book has actually said, e.g. it being it's a lifestyle. It's a consistent. There's a persistence to it. It's not something you just determine and say, today this is here, and because we're a brand and we are going to go ahead with this. There is some sort of intention. You know, there is some sort of, you know what, even though my audience might not like this at first, this is a new thing, but you know what, we're going to stay very firm with this idea of and what this brand is going to be, and we're going to, I mean, that's what I'm getting from you, but I'm not
staying strong to it.
And just creating that movement that, you know what, one day they are going to understand we are here to win. I'm a brand, and this is how you're going to recognize me. So
it's true. I was about to say, the messaging for the one thing that brands, you know, if you think of a person, okay, so you say you have a person who says, oh, I love the colour red. The next day they go, oh, I love the colour blue, I love the colour blue. The next week they go, oh, you know what, I love the colour yellow, that's my colour. You're already, one, probably thinking, what a hypocrite. Two, that works for brands too. If you come in with, oh, we're so ethical, we're really looking to be more sustainable, we're doing this, and then they get one question on Twitter which will be like, so all your packaging, is it recyclable now, or is there parts that aren't? And they got no comment. Because there's not. So also speak your truth. Everyone is working on something. You know, you don't have to be doing everything right now, because it is physically impossible. Things change. They 10 years ago they didn't know the impact this was going to. They probably did 10 years ago. I say 20 years ago, give them a bit of leeway, but they didn't know what impact that was going to have. So it was all great. It was new packaging. It was this. And then messages evolve, but you have to stay true to like one thing. If you are here to support, like you keep saying, it is networking, it is enabling people who are like-minded to come together and potentially create something phenomenal. That's your core message, is that. Like, you bring people together, and that's a beautiful message, and you stick to that. But you can have stuff on top that works, but that's your one thing. That's got to be true.
Nice. So I'm gonna mix two questions together, right? No, I'll go for the first one, just to support, just to sort of put a question that someone might be dying to ask. You know, still focusing on the idea of branding takes time, right? Again, like someone like myself, I've got these 3 brands, right, that I'm still working on, and one of the things I realize is, when it comes to honing something that are so powerful that I had yet to be powerful, it requires time.
Yeah, of course.
Now, how do you explain someone that, you know, has got such an high potential for their brand, for their business, their personal branding? What should be the things that they should do constantly that would at least keep at least they're doing something to keep a brand? What is the minimum thing you can do on a day-to-day lifestyle to say that, you know what, I know you mentioned something about Beyonce, the color red, you know, how, like, just briefly, something really quite small.
Oh, okay.
Go for it.
No, I mean, it's really important, because for me, you have to keep learning. Keep learning, like when I started with the online fashion blogging, so I have a list of the top fashion bloggers that are in my niche that I want to be like them or even more. So I have a list of them, and I follow them, and I study them, and I watch how they do, the kind of pictures they take, the brightness, the colors, the style, everything. I study, and then, because we can't revert the wheels really, we just add a bit of a spice to it, a bit of uniqueness.
Nice.
But nothing is really starting from nowhere. No, we all get inspiration. So I think you need to study and just learn to keep that consistency again. So let's say, for instance, like my blog, you see like most of my pictures I shoot outdoor and in the daylight, bright daylight. So that, even my pictures alone have to be consistent. So I can't just come and post a picture from a night out in the dark outside of the shard. It's going to be confusing to my followers, and so just keeping that and study. YouTube, there's books, there's just keep studying and improving. So.
That is amazing. You know, I didn't even know that you had that going on, but looking at your page, I didn't know that was behind it. I remember that time she was like, I have no idea. She was like, I need the daylight. Like, oh, now that makes sense. Yeah, just listen, so just briefly, something very small.
Very, very small.
What would someone do on a day-to-day basis, just to keep, even though they don't have time, just to keep in tune with that branding of theirs? Yeah.
I'm gonna tag on to that, because it's true.
Okay.
I think the one thing you do day to day, listen to your audience.
Okay.
Listen to your audience.
Great.
How many comments did you get on that? If it is photos, if we're looking at blogging, because it's quite a good example, if you're looking at photos, what performed well, what comments did you get, and analysing those comments is the exact same thing I do for lead generation. I look at how many people came this season to our shows, so how many brands wanted to come. How many didn't? What were the reasons behind it, and why those reasons? And did they change since last year? Is it the industry? Is it us? Is it the market? I'm such a geek though. Every time I talk about data, I could talk for hours. I love data. There is nothing like having lots of data to analyze, because it's power. Data is power. It's insights into an audience that you wouldn't be able to, do that in person unless you're doing focus groups, like you said in the beginning. You could do a focus group with 20 people, and then you're going to measure your whole marketing campaign on that for 20 people. You put out a survey to 5,000 people, it's going to get a much bigger reach. And if it doesn't, and that doesn't work, then you do bring it smaller and you try it that way. But research, analysis, constantly looking at what could be done better based on what didn't work. That's what you can do day to day.
That's powerful. Constant. So you said educating yourself regularly, also an act of consistency, so you're sort of in line to what you want to be doing. You're also leaning towards that side of what she's saying, but also be true to your journey.
And looking at what didn't work.
That's
be
reflective. Being reflective to
way
what,
more important than what did almost.
Of course,
is what didn't.
It's all about what didn't work,
because
so we can improve. Strengthen.
Exactly.
So the next thing I'm going to go into is it's very straightforward. Maybe just 5 keywords.
Okay.
What is the benefit of branding? I know we've said so much about what branding is. I know we've said so much on the consistency. You know what it reflects on. So one of your biggest platform, everyone's platform actually, is social media. Online digital marketing is where we are all at the moment. So I want to know your result. I want to know the benefit. 5 keywords, and if you need to explain, I'll possibly come back to that, but just go for it. What is the benefit of you having such a consistent, intentional brand?
Clarity. Just want somebody to look at you to see clear what you're about.
One is clarity. Okay.
So it's definitely loyalty. So branding is loyalty from your customer base.
Okay. I was going to say loyalty to who?
To them. So being consistent in the market, staying true to your message, not flopping. So we look at Zara. I'll put it out there.
Keep those keywords.
True.
One by one.
Let's do.
So
sorry,
loyalty.
We're gonna go with loyalty.
Yeah. Clarity, loyalty.
You?
Oh yeah, that's true. I'll try.
Come on. Don't just get to be the host.
I was just gonna flip that. Okay, Brandon to me. Clarity, loyalty, visualization. Yeah.
Okay.
I could answer this for your brand, by the way,
Please,
because
go
I
ahead.
see it on the outside. I can make it so easy for you.
Go ahead.
So for you, I think the benefit of your branding is that there's so many benefits actually. One, people get to see your mindset. So I'll give you mindset, like the mindset of the owner, the mindset of the brain behind it. Yeah.
Personality.
So mine goes hand in hand with loyalty, and it's trust.
Trust.
Yeah,
The
trust.
more loyal you are to brand,
So
the more
you're
you
saying
trust them when they change
one of the
something.
benefits of owning a brand is also
building trust with your
Building trust with
remember,
your
it's all about your
customers.
customers.
You trust
They're
the
the
brand.
focus. They make you. They make the brand.
I trust that brand
Yeah.
to keep doing what I like them doing.
Yeah.
That's what I trust in them. I trust that my Nike trainers every single time I buy a new pair. I keep referring to Nike because I
love
am
them
that
so
I
much.
do. It's terrible. I only wear Nike or Reebok. I'm very, very specific. But I trust that every pair of trainers I will buy will be a great pair of trainers that will last me for years. The quality, that for me, and also, I mean, if we're talking about sportswear brands, and like the messaging, especially to females, is superb. I haven't seen marketing campaigns like it. So that as well is a huge part, but trust is massive.
another keyword I've got there is relations.
Lovely.
Like the relations that, because I feel like reflecting to my personal branding, so I realized that, and it's come a long way. It's come from me being a model and then going into the cooperative world and also starting a business. And majority of my followers are people that look at me, know me. Majority, to be honest with you, on a digital platform sees me as a model, which is that's the reason why that's what they see, is because that's what you see on digital platform. That's where you've got your magazine. But then if you was to meet me on a day-to-day life, you're like, oh, okay, no, she's not just a picture. And it's so funny that, again, going back to what you said earlier on, where you said that when you change, you know, your target audience seems to they get a bit they're quite worried. They don't like changes. And I realized that I had to start being my true self, right? Because I realized that everyone was just expecting pictures. So when I wasn't posting things that was not picture, which was more me, they get no one cares about it. And I thought, okay, I'm so sorry. I know I can take amazing pictures, but
just slowly,
and gradually, and you did see the and I saw the difference. I did see the difference.
If you were marketing it, you could have had one day a week where you're doing a inside scoop on me, you know, and then it would be different. They'd see it as like a new.
There's a way to introduce
rather than just like, whoa, you just changed, and they'd be like, whoa, I don't. Like it's just, and people always, basic human nature, no one likes change. Even when we say, I love being spontaneous, I love, but it's because it's nerve-wracking. Everyone has a comfort zone. Everybody has a comfort zone, small or gigantic. It's a comfort zone. Coming out of that, it's always going to be a little bit scary. So change it always. But doing little things and introducing them in the right way can work wonders.
I'll just add to that. For me, having a clear brand, your brand is also, it makes you stand out from the crowd.
100% great word.
Stand up from the crowd, you're a bit of uniqueness. There's something about you that when we put all these things together, what makes you stand out? What makes you?
That's your word, unique. Yeah.
I love
you. Are unique. You're
rare.
So, you can't be like everyone else, especially when we're talking about fashion. We come back to it. It's a very saturated market. To be really different, you really need to. You know, when you said like man up, you need to step up to whatever you're going to be and stay like the same. This new messaging that's coming in around not just sustainability, but for anything, but you know, against fast fashion and choosing slow fashion, and really whatever message you're pushing, push it and really like stay with that messaging, because if you divert, it's when people think you're flaky, and then the trust goes and then the loyalty goes, and then that's it. It's really quick. It's a really quick turnover.
Amazing. I mean, I think I can go on. We can keep going on, but due to time. But just does anyone have any question you would like to ask? Do you have a question you would like to ask? Just before I take it to the rounding up section, and what's the question? Go for it.
I just want to start my career in the marketing industry. So could you tell me what's the, like, if you hired someone like as an intern or assistant entry level role, like what kind of skill needed, and then what do you expect into like your generation?
So I think I'm a bit different to some managers. I know quite a lot are quite strict on experience and, you know, what degree or where they came from. For me, it's so much about the person. If I click with you, if I think I can work with you, if I know you're a good person, I mean, you can't tell all of these things right. They go, everyone makes a mistake. We've all taken a bet on someone who hasn't paid off, but really for me it's that, because I think everyone deserves a chance. I remember coming out of university, and you have to get your first job out of university. That's all. When you're doing your dissertation, all they're telling you, go get your first job, make sure you get it. And everyone asks for experience. And every student I will go, how am I meant to get any experience if you won't give me experience? How am I? And it was like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? It's just, there's a battle. So taking a chance, and the people who do that, I really, really admire. They're the people I want to work for. The people who have gone, do you know what? That person came from, you could have been studying anything, you could have come from property development, but you want to move into this, and you're taking a risk and you're putting yourself out there, and that for me would be much bigger than someone who ticks every box, but actually, do they have that drive? Do they really want this? You know, what they want out there, or is it just another role for them? So that's my main thing. Just be different. Just go for it. And also, I'm terrible for this, I should take my own advice. But just write to the place you want to work. Don't wait for them to be offering a job. Don't wait for there to be a position. If you love the brand, you love what they do, just write to them. Just email them and say, look, I love what you do. This is what I do. This is what I'm about. I'd love to work for you. And if they don't have anything, they'll let you know. And also the ones that don't reply, you don't want to work for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then I know you guys have a very career like branding and marketing role. So like once you back in the past, like now you're like before like 5 or 10 years ago, like what do you want to tell to yourself?
Oh, tell to your younger
What would you
self.
like to tell to your younger self? I'm always new to doing this. Wow. Go on.
Yeah, because you guys are really successful.
So what would you tell your younger self? So you know what? I'm very impressed you asked that question. No, because I read a book, right, and it talks about your past. It talks about now, and then he also identified the future, your future self. I don't know if I don't know when we're introducing ourselves earlier on. I said I know who my future self is, and I've got this on my little sticky notes also. One of the things I say is welcome your future self and also embrace the past you, right? And one thing I've always said is, wow, that's so weird that you've asked, because this is rare. People don't identify those different stages, right? For me, it's quite emotional when I reflect back on the younger me, because the younger me was she's very determined as she is today,
I got
right?
something to say, yeah.
You know, she's very determined as she is today, but was she nervous? Yes. You know, one thing about the younger me also is she was very vulnerable, very, very vulnerable. She's very nice. Everyone is perfect, and you know what? She wants to change the world, and she believes that we can all be equal. And unfortunately for her, you know, she got stepped a lot by people. But you know one thing about this young girl, and I still give kudos to her till today, is the fact that regardless of all those things that had happened to her, or those people that had, you know, sort of taken advantage of her kindness or her kind heart of wanting things to be better or wanting everything to be better, regardless of that, she just sort of take it. You know, and what I would say to my younger self is that it's okay. That's the key thing I always say to my younger self. It's okay, whatever pain you've gone through as a young person. It's fine. But one thing is, I actually give kudos to you that you still stay within yourself, right? You're still contained. That drive of you being successful is still within you. That drive of you, you know. By the way, I didn't think this was gonna. I mean, I knew it would align when we asked about your success, which was your bucket list. I remember being younger and saying, you know, I want to make sure I'm educated. I want to make sure I want to make sure I have a car. I want to make sure I have this. I want to make sure that one of my biggest things is to make sure my mom is actually she bears the fruit of her labor. And you know what? I'm doing something like that now. But to answer your question directly, the answer, what would I tell my younger self? My younger self is, it's okay. You know, everything is okay. Relax is okay. Dream big, it is okay. People will mess you around, it is okay. And where I am right now says that, you know what, sweetheart? When you were younger, you were expecting everyone to be as nice as you are. I'm sorry, you need to be very firm and I'm not saying be horrible to people, but know when to say no, young lady. And now I think we can say no, and we're still working on saying no. And for the future, me would certainly be like no, yes, no. Yes, and there will be issues in between. There will be problems. But my dear young self, Ayoola, lady, it's okay.
Yeah, I would say that was powerful. Yeah, I would just say to my young. Because I'm such a passionate person. You know, like I had this idea, I'm gonna change the world. It's gonna be, because I believe my slogan for my charity and also personal is "C'est possible" in French, which means possible. So that's my message, that it is possible. So I'm very passionate. I'm gonna change the world. Energetic, passionate, you know, no money in the bank, you know, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna put this and this together, I burn out, you know, just doing too much all at once.
I can relate. I concur.
So what I told my younger self is, more objective and slow down the passion. But we live and learn, you know, we live and learn. But now I'm more objective. Now it's all about is that going to work? Is that not going to work? Yes, passion is there, but also I need the skills. Hence why going back to uni, doing project management, because with that I've got to get like do it by the book way to avoid costly mistakes, you know, running into debt, you know, things like that. So young self is crazy, is passionate, is a dreamer, but makes a lot of mistakes. But I think all of that is all part of building a character, because you gotta build your character for you to get to the top. And nothing is just coincidence. Everything it has to happen like that. You know, as I say, it's better to lose £1,000 than to be stupid and go and lose 1 million, right? So when you lose 1,000, you can learn what to do better, so you don't lose the 1 million. So I think just live and learn.
Oh,
Dear young Lucy.
oh, dear young Lucy. My God. It's mad because even looking back at myself like 5 years ago, I almost want to cry for her a bit, which is actually like coming. That was, I think if I was going to say anything, one, for God's sake, like stop being so hard on yourself. Stop thinking that you should be here when you're here, and that you should have done that when you did this, and that you should have not said that when you said that. You know what you did, whatever you did in the moment that you did it, and if you feel bad about it, you apologise, but past that, that's what you did and it's fine. But looking back, I would just be like, stop worrying about thinking that you will not get to where you want to be by being you. So fashion industry in particular is really tough, really tough, and you will come across people who, dare I say, I do wonder if they have souls. I do wonder. And I think just because of my nature, I really struggled to be really hard or quite tough or rude, or it was not me. And then I felt like I was failing all the time. I felt like I wasn't going to be able to do what I really wanted, that I wanted for so long, because I just love clothes. I don't even know what I love is fashion. I love clothes. I love materials and quality and how they make you feel, and textures and beautiful patterns that you can't even imagine in your head seeing them on a material. I love I love the feeling they give you. I always have. I mean, my grandma works in Selfridges for like 47 years, so I grew up roaming the halls of Selfridges most of the time, and I just loved watching people put on an item and their face lighting up. I just thought that was so magical. And then when I stepped into the industry, I realised that it's actually quite it's a cutthroat industry. It was very different to what I envisioned my whole life. And to just give yourself a break, because I think what was more important as I grew up was being who I am and not getting what I thought I wanted. It was much more important, because I felt so much better afterwards knowing that I had stayed true to myself, and that I quit a job that I didn't like because of how people were, rather than sticking it out and then getting to go away and say, oh, I made it, but by being a person that I don't recognise. So
I find that very strong that you were able to do that at that age, because I will be very honest, it's now that I've embraced me, it's now that I can talk about my life journey, whereas I feel like my younger self pretended a lot. Of course. I pretended so much to fit in with families, with education, where I belong, everything. I pretended I wanted to be something I wasn't, and I never had that, but like I wasn't. And then later when you realize that, you know what, just embrace everything about you. And I find that very amusing when I actually know people that they're able to actually stay true to their true identity from a young age. But one thing about your inner self is, regardless of how much you try to hide it, it comes true. It comes true.
Nature.
And that's the thing, it cuts you.
And just to round up, guys, it's first of all, thank you. I feel like it's been more powerful than I actually thought it would be. How can actually, first of all, in one sentence, how can we find you guys? How can we find you guys?
I'm a ghost.
No, I mean, like, so for anyone, just in terms of like, because people will be listening to you guys today, possibly someone wants to reach out to you in terms of career, as someone have just asked today about marketing. Is a LinkedIn, where's the best place to find you?
100%. Also, I'd love to hear from anyone. I constantly grateful for anyone who reaches out about anything, actually, because I always wish I'd done it, and I was always too chicken to do it. And then I look back now and I think, why didn't you just write to that manager and just say like, what do you do, or do you want to make a coffee, or going for mentors? I have a mentor now, and fortunately enough I found her through my job, but so many of my friends just write to people on LinkedIn, just see people they admire. You know, you said all those fashion bloggers you aspire to be, writing to them, so I'd love that. So LinkedIn is definitely where you'll find me. My surname being Power, quite easy to find as well, but that's definitely the best place. I'm quite private with everything else, so yeah.
No, which is understandable, but coming from like personal branding, so talk about branding, about consistency. So with my personal, so if you go just Lisette Mibo, you're gonna put the down. So it's Lisette Mibo on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on email, on website, same name everywhere, YouTube, so it's easy to find.
Amazing. And for me, where do you find me? Ayoola Bakare. So with Rare you find us online. With Ayoola at Ayoola on social media. I do have a personal branding as well as business branding. I can't hide. This is me.
I love this. I feel like, can I add one thing actually?
Yeah, sure.
Because I really don't want to, for anyone who's watching who wants to step into fashion, I really hope I haven't scared you. So much of it is so wonderful, hence why I still do it now. And there are amazing brands out there doing incredible things with beautiful natures and lovely messaging, and things have changed drastically from that. So just a little shout out for all the really amazing fashion brands that are.
I believe what you're saying is the truth. What you've said in general is things looks great on the outside. The fashion work looks great on the outside. As a model, right? I'm not doing it full time, part time, but I'm still doing it. As a model, people look at your picture and you look amazing. People do not understand what you have to go through for casting, what you have to go through, even taking the picture. I am still working. I'm still working full time, as well as juggling my modeling and also trying to build my brand and working towards my future self. So I think you've only rather said the truth, which is there is hard work behind every successful thing you see out there, and that is the same thing with fashion. It looks great on the outside, but everyone needs to work hard for it.
And I think it's just a mindset. Just focusing on positivity. So even though 90% is hardship, that 10% that is a celebration. That's what you need to really focus on, that, and just celebrate that 10% rather than focusing so much on the negativity. I think that's what it is really. Like as a new fashion blogger coming into the scene, you know, it's quite difficult because I'm learning, because then you start having companies contact you, giving you clothes for reviews. Some will offer little payment, some won't offer payment. So some you approach, like if I send an email, 20 emails to companies, and then none of them reply. But if just one of them replies to me and said, okay, we want to work with you, that's that one brand. That's how I'm gonna make noise of. I'm not gonna focus on the 19 that didn't respond to me. I'm gonna focus on that one, and then that's it.
That's a lovely point. I think something we constantly forget is like celebrating the small wins. I make it such a massive deal with my team. Even if the piece you did meant, you know, that you succeed in that, even if all the other pieces didn't fall into place for the other teams or for other departments, but really making sure that people who worked really, really, really hard know that was a win, whether it wasn't an overall win, whatever, that was a huge win, and we do not celebrate them enough. So true.
Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, I honestly, I didn't think, but I knew, but I've actually been able to pick up so much and also learn from every single one of you guys. And thank you so much for actually taking the time out to do this for me, and also sharing your stories, sharing your background and where you are now, and reflecting on branding. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I loved it. Thank you so much.
And I love the synergy.
It's been so nice. Made my evening. Bye.